All right, I have 1 p.m. Central Time here on my clock. I think people will continue to start rolling in here, but I want to welcome everybody to the ACURe Professional Development Session for April. I am delighted to get to introduce our speaker for today. So without further ado, I will do that. Dr. Amy DiLorenzo is an assistant professor and director of educational development at the University of Kentucky, Department of Anesthesiology, where she has been a member of the faculty since 2008. She also serves as the assistant dean for educational innovation and scholarship for UK graduate medical education. Amy has experience in assessment, quality improvement, simulation education, curriculum development, and faculty development. Amy has been a co-investigator on grants related to resident knowledge acquisition, educational development, and patient safety, and has been featured for multiple national speaking engagements on learning techniques and educational methodology, and has co-authored more than 30 peer-reviewed manuscripts and book chapters. Thank you so much, Amy, for spending time with us today.
Yes, thank you, Amy. Before you start, can we please ask everybody to mute themselves? I am not logged in as the host, and so I can't do it. And we're recording this session. So thank you all for your cooperation there.
Well, thank you so much, Denise. Thank you very much for organizing this and for inviting me. It's a big honor. I've been pretty nervous about it, actually. So it's nice to see friendly looking faces and pretty backgrounds and all the things that makes me a little bit less nervous. And hopefully, you know, some of this will be relatable. And I think we really have a lot in common. And I was just telling my boss that I was getting ready to go speak to a group of urology coordinators and educators. And she thought that was super cool and amazing. She's like, how'd you get to do that? Like, well, just lucky, you know? And so I really appreciate the invitation to get to come and talk to you today. So being recorded makes me extra a little bit nervous. So just bear with me. Public speaking is probably none of our favorite things, but you know, here we are. So Denise, I know you have to run, so feel free to just, you know, log off anytime and I'll touch base with you later. But it's nice to see all of your names on here. I wish we were in person doing more of a workshop type of thing. But maybe one day we'll all be in the same room doing something together. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen here and see what we can do. So let's see. Are you seeing my slides here, ladies? Okay, cool. So one thing that I really wanted to do during this is try to make it as interactive as possible because, you know, as you can tell from the title, career advancement pathways for coordinators and, you know, specifically urology coordinators. I'm not here to give a lecture. This is really about you, about, you know, thinking about ways in your own life and your own career development and what makes sense for you and what's inspirational and important and exciting for you upcoming in your career, wherever you may be. So in order to try to have some interaction on Zoom, I'm going to use the poll everywhere technology. So I'll flip to my next slide here so everybody can get logged in, hopefully, and join me in this. So just a silly question here to get us started and get everybody logged in. You can do this one of two ways. You can either go to the website there, that Poll Everywhere website that's on top, or possibly easier, you can text UKHC ANES 207 to 37607, and that will keep you joined, and then you can just text in your answers. So whatever works best for you, but I really want to encourage everybody to join. And once you do, if you could go ahead and answer this question, which of the following was not invented in Kentucky, my home state? I know we have at least one other person from Kentucky on the call, so she may know the answer to this. Once you pop an answer in there, that lets me know you're logged in. Looks like it's working for people. All right. So out of all of these, ironically, the only thing that was not invented in Kentucky is fried chicken. That definitely came as a surprise to me. I had no idea that something like the disco ball would be invented here, or, you know, the happy birthday song. Who knew? But fried chicken, I learned, was actually first invented in Scotland. Apparently, that's where they first fried chicken in oil or fat or something like that, and made it into what it is today. So, little Kentucky fun fact for you there. So thank you for logging in, and we're going to be using that technology throughout, so you can just keep your text thread up or your website. So here is a little bit about me. Thank you, Denise, for that intro. Here is just a picture of the UK hospital, and then a more beautiful view of Kentucky and the horse farms and the fields. We have a race here at a horse track called Keeneland. It's not where the Kentucky Derby is run, but we have races here in Lexington at Keeneland, and that has just started this past week. So I'm going to get to go next week, and looking forward to that. So other than, you know, what I'm doing now in education and anesthesia and GME, I listed out some of the other things that I've done throughout my career, including being a server in college, working, you know, doing that for 5 years, paying for college and that type of thing, being an office assistant, some teaching and counseling and so forth, and several different coordinator roles with anesthesiology or anesthesiology fellowships and so forth. Another thing I'm really passionate about, really involved in, is our Ronald McDonald House here in Lexington that's close by our hospital. That's something I'm involved in as a volunteer, not as a work basis, but something I spend a lot of time volunteering with that organization. And then I just listed here some of my educational background, and, you know, you may see some roles here, some educations and things that are relatable to some of the things that you have in your background or your current experience too. So that is the last I'm going to talk about me, because we're here to talk about you. And next question, not a silly question. I'd love to kick this off by talking about how close you are currently. If you think about your ideal profession, your ideal career, perfect job, where would you put yourself on this continuum from, I'm there, sister, my current job, that's it, it's my dream job. And then you can read the various ones here. So at least one person on the call is living the dream, and that's fantastic. Looks like majority thinking about it. A lot of people pretty close, maybe a couple of tweaks that they want to make. Majority of people so far, not quite sure, still figuring out, you know, what that actually looks like. What is the ideal? What do I want? You know, what is going to give me maximum career happiness? What all does that include? And that's some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. And then a few people that, you know, like some things, but pretty far away from ideal at this point. And that's okay too. And I, you know, can certainly say I've probably been kind of everywhere on A through E at some point in my career, or maybe depending on the day, and job satisfaction and those type of things. But it looks like we have a whole variety of answers here. And, you know, interesting that nobody on the call, not close at all. I want to make major changes. And I'm just guessing here, but I think possibly a factor in that is that you do have a professional organization. You're here on this call because there is an organization. You have a group of other people who have similar job roles. You have colleagues, you have people you can turn to if you have a question, you know, friends that you've made in this group, I'm sure. And so I'm guessing that probably adds to some job satisfaction. Also, you're already investing in yourself because you're taking the time out of your day to do a professional development session, just to kind of take some time for yourself, honestly, during the middle of a busy work day. So great, thank you for answering that. Next question here, just to give me a little bit of an idea of the group and how long you've been in your current position. Love to see what the spread is here.
Not sure the app is working.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it just froze.
Oh no.
Yeah, because nothing's popping up.
Okay, that's gonna make me really sad, and it's gonna make this tough. But maybe it will kick back in at some point. How about can we use Zoom chat? Maybe just put in the chat how long you've been in your current position, and maybe turning point or Pull Everywhere will come back to life here. So if you just pop that in the chat, let's see what we can do. Okay, so we've got several people with D, B, C, somebody 6 months. Okay. I saw a couple of D's there, so 10 to 20 years, just 1 year. Okay. C, D, D, E. Okay, I'm just flipping. 1 year as of Tuesday. Happy anniversary to Catherine. Cool. And then another one less than a year. So really big, really big variety and spread. Something I actually wanted to ask this group, do you all have a mentoring program for your members? Like where some of your more experienced coordinators mentor younger or newer coordinators within their careers? Is that something you currently have? And feel free to unmute or chat. Yes, we have mentoring. Okay, that's awesome. I belong to a similar organization called AAPAE. It's the Anesthesia Program Administrators and Educators. And that's something we've tried to get going, at various times. And I think it's really important. I think, well, I mean, as we all know, just to see everything once, you have to be in the job a year. And really probably 3 years, because weird things happen, and then you'll have site reviews or new programs, or you'll do a complement increase, or something you've never done before. It's just there's always something new, or new program requirements, etc. So on the job training crash course, yeah, I think that's probably the majority of it for sure. Okay, well, let's move on. So when we think about our career path, what that looks like, and just using this analogy of a path, kind of what we ordered and what we got on any given day might look pretty different if we're thinking about that ideal for us. We're not skipping down the rosy path here. Some days it's pretty scary or nerve-wracking or anxiety producing, and generally probably neither of these extremes, maybe somewhere in the middle. Where we're plugging along, we're doing our best, but maybe not quite to the ideal that we would really like, just considering how much time we spend in our job role and in our career, and wanting it to be as close to the left side of that screen as possible rather than the right. Another way that we could think about this, you've probably seen this illustration or some variation of it before, like our plan versus our reality. Man, that is really true, and Denise read that nice bio intro of me, and I had the slide of, what my current position is and some of the things I've done, but it really, in reality, looks much more like the bottom of this slide than the top of this slide for me personally, and all kinds of, things layered in there, I guess you could say. It's kind of like how I say to the residents and fellows, they're people first and residents second, just like us, right? We're people first and employees second, and all kinds of things that go on in our real lives, our personal lives, or in our career lives even, can create some barriers to smooth sailing on our career path. So this is another one of the poll questions. Maybe it'll work. Let's see. Think way back to when you graduated from high school. Have you followed the exact career path you thought you would? Oh, yay, the poll's working. So I answered there. Okay, that's cool. Not at all. So I've got high school graduation on my mind because my oldest child is graduating this year, and he has big plans and, thinks he's got it all figured out and all this kind of thing, like many of us probably did. And I think it's interesting to think back to those days and what we thought we were going to do. Me being quite far from my high school graduation. It took me a minute to remember what I even thought I was going to do. So most people, it looks like, are saying not at all. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even know this type of position was a thing. I had no idea. Who knew? But somebody did. And how cool is that? Whoever you are, I would love to hear about how you knew about these types of positions and how you got into it. And maybe we could talk about that sometime. It's pretty cool. But vast majority, not even close to what we thought we were going to do. So if you want to share in the chat what job you thought you were going to have or what career you thought you were going to have when you graduated from high school, that would be fun probably for everybody to see. So feel free to chat in. All right. So moving on to reality and our current role. So text in, and I'm not sure if this is going to work because it looks like the little header at the top of the slide disappeared, but let's see what happens. What aspects of your current role do you genuinely love? If you were telling a friend about your job and you were saying, I love this, I love that, what would those things be?
Nope, doesn't look like it's
Not working. Oh, okay. Well, let's put these in chat because this is really fun. Why is this not working? Technology is the worst. I love it, but it's the worst. Okay, helping the residents, working with the residents. Being positive and encouraging. Building relationships, supporting the health of local and global community. Awesome. The trainees. Seeing people come in new and seeing them graduate as confident surgeons, resident accomplishments, huge sense of accomplishment and relationship, knowing that you tie to patient care and the community. I'm seeing themes around a sense of purpose, people having like a sense of higher purpose connected to the role, and then a lot about relationship, having good relationships, especially with the residents, faculty, some independence and autonomy, being challenged. Yeah, that sense of purpose. I think that independence also, that shows that there's a level of trust, right? You have a trust between you and your coworkers, your colleagues, or your, your program director or whoever it might be. So having trust in our role is really, really satisfying. Love that. Yeah, contributing to the creation of future positions. Awesome. And you can continue to chat those in. So let's look at the flip side of the coin here. And okay. What aspects of your current role would you like to maybe change? It looks like maybe the chat on Poll Everywhere is going to work now. It's just messing with me. It's taking me down the scary path of technology, but looks like it's working now. You'd like to chat them in anonymously. So leadership support, mentorship, evaluations, just the administrative aspect of it, very redundant administrative and reporting tasks, kind of like Groundhog Day feeling with some of the month-to-month things, program director engagement. So I'm seeing some busy work themes and some leadership themes. Residents to do tasks without reminders. Yes. So again, that's kind of a busy work thing. It's not using your maximal value with things like that. So again, themes around support and leadership, busy work, and being able to increase resident complement. Yeah, lots of reminders. Career advancement. Yeah. Okay. Great. I'm glad that I'm glad this came on for us to be able to chat this in anonymously, because I think it's good to feel free to, say whatever you need to say. Would like to change PD support and open communication. That relationship with the program director is really key. And those of you that, answered that you've been around for a while, 5, 10, 15 years, that kind of thing, have probably been through some PDs, right? So you've had to train multiple program directors over the years, and having different working styles with those folks can really kind of make or break your day-to-day life. I think faculty engagement, so reminders to residents, reminders to faculty, can be some of the downsides for sure. So let's take a look at this next slide here. I just brainstormed a little bit when I was putting this together, some of the different roles, like big bucket sort of roles and tasks that we do in coordination and education jobs. And, these are things that you're already doing, right? So you're doing things with event planning. You might not consider yourself an event planner, but you certainly are doing things like that. You're doing a ton with orientation, onboarding, different HR functions, having sensitive conversations with people. You are having input into the training and the education, the curriculum, evaluation, assessment. You have administrative roles, you have administrative experience. You're doing QI, right? You're problem solving. You're figuring out things that don't work well and making them more efficient, or making them save money, making them save time. That's QI, in your role for sure. You might be involved in simulation. You probably know some things about simulation that you thought you'd never know. I certainly have seen some things and been involved in some simulations that are super interesting. Recruitment, obviously, you're very key to recruitment, and you know a ton about graduate medical education. You have to. It's key to the role. So these are just some of the things, and I bet you feel free to chat in more that you're thinking about here. But where of these things would you like to focus a little more energy? When you read one of these squares, which one or ones really get you excited? Things that you enjoy, things that you feel like is a real strength of yours, something you gravitate towards, and just throw those in the chat. I don't have a poll question for this. Which one of these squares, or feel free to come up with something else as well. There's a lot of different things we could say here. Which ones do you really enjoy? GME, recruitment. Oh, are you all putting little stars on the squares?
That's me. I'm just
That's really
creative,
cool.
yeah.
Okay, you're teaching me things. Assessment, GME, faculty development. Awesome. Recruitment, people really enjoy recruitment. There's an excitement about that, isn't there? Recruitment's one of my favorite times of the year. I still am involved in the recruitment of all the anesthesia residents, fellows, and faculty in our department. Absolutely love it. Education, recruitment, event planning. Okay, cool. Actually, you all should save this chat. You'll know who to go to for advice and help and mentorship on different things. So awesome. A lot of people love recruitment, it looks like, education, et cetera, faculty development, those type of things. So I think it's helpful sometimes just to look at the breadth of everything you're doing, and then thinking about, what are those things that you might want to, if possible, increase your involvement in, possibly have some scholarly activity around those things that you really enjoy, doing some presentations or some quality improvement projects, something around those aspects that really get you excited and energized and, loving your day when you're getting to do those things. So let's take a look at some of the ideas to move forward on your path. Okay, so we're going to get into this in more detail, but some ideas for ways to move forward, navigate towards that perfect ideal career. When we think about that first slide, when we're thinking about how close are you to the ideal. So maybe you want to do some other type of formal education, maybe a a second bachelor's or a master's or some other type of higher ed. There's a bunch of certificate programs out there. I'm guessing that many of you already have your Tag Me. There's other things that might even be more to your specific interests, like med ed research or certificate in medical education, things that aren't full-on tuition-based degree, but that would help you focus on the things that you would really like to do and focus on in your career. Depending on where you are, I'm guessing a lot of you are at academic hospitals, institutions where there's continuing education available to you. So check out the supervisory training, the HR trainings, other aspects and things that you could get into at your academic medical center or within the university campus at large, if that's available to you. This next bullet point is my favorite one on the list, to be honest. Find somebody who has the dream job. And, it could be somebody in a different specialty. It could be somebody at a different institution. Whatever you think. Find whoever it was today who said that have their dream job and give them a call. Buy them a coffee, sit down with them or Zoom with them and talk to them about how did they get there. And I bet their road wasn't a direct, straight, smooth line either. They probably had some ups and downs and bumps and lessons learned along the way. But just having those conversations with people that seem to have the ideal and have it all figured out is very interesting and can expand your network. That person might be able to become a mentor, be a champion for you and what you're wanting to do. You might be able to work on a project with that person, kind of getting out of our own bubble a little bit. I have a whole other talk, a whole other thing on networking, and I can share it with you. There's a little worksheet to go through your current network and where you might see gaps in that. And if that's something you all are interested in, I'd be happy to send it to Denise or whoever to distribute. But really thinking about networking outside of your office, outside of your bubble can help open up opportunities for you. Within your own department, within your institution and beyond. So I'd be happy to send that and we could talk more about it if you like. So some other ideas. Thinking about new opportunities. And I alluded to this a little bit when we looked at the grid with all of the different tasks and things that you do. So thinking about those and how you could turn that into a new opportunity for you. Talked about QI. You do this. You solve problems, you figure out what's not working and how to make it better. You can write that up. You could do something similar with a coordinator in another department and present that. I am sure you all have a national meeting. Do you have a national meeting? Did I already ask you that? Yes. So there's probably opportunities to present, at your national meeting, what you're doing in your workplace. And honestly, I don't care if you've been doing this for 3 months or 15 years, you're doing something that somebody else could benefit from because everywhere is different. We have so much, that we can learn from each other and different resources and creative ideas and so forth. Volunteering with an organization that you love can help you meet people. So I mentioned I volunteered with the Ronald McDonald House. Through that, I met the chair of pediatrics at the University of Kentucky. And that's been really neat we've cooked dinner actually together at the house and at the Ronald McDonald House and getting to know that person on a personal level. Now, when I see him in the hospital, we kind of have a connection. I don't do much with pediatrics per se, but it's still nice just to expand your network with kind of like-minded people who are volunteering in an organization that you care about too. Co-presenting doesn't have to be a stand up with a podium type of presentation. You could do something live, a lot of opportunities on Zoom. You can make a podcast. Any podcasters here in podcasts, like listening to podcasts? Can make a YouTube video pretty easy. Maybe some of our kids could help us do that, make a coordinator TikTok or something, who knows, or an abstract poster, et cetera, that you could present. And all of this is really going towards building your, I hate to say your brand, but building your resume, building your CV of what you bring to the table to advance your career in the direction you want it to go. It's all evidence of your knowledge, your expertise, your passion. you're already involved with your national organization, there's probably other ones that would be relevant to you too. Looking for leadership opportunities, volunteering for a committee. And that's something I've found, trying to think about strategically which committees I really want to invest my time in, because sometimes it can be a drain and just a drain on your time and you're not getting much out of it. But if you're getting into a couple of committees that are really important to you, there's good work to be done. You can work with interesting, fun people from other departments. It's really worth your time, and that's a way to get into leadership too. Any other ideas that anyone wants to either chat out loud or in the chat? Oh, I see somebody said, please send the network grid out. I'll do that. I'll send that to Denise. Other new opportunities got in mind. Okay. So we've all heard this, right? A goal without a plan is just a wish, or we've said some version of it. And the man who wrote this, the French author, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, I'm probably not saying that right, but he wrote one of my very favorite books. I bet some of you have read this too, way back when. It's an awesome book, all kinds of quotable, super nice things to think about, just life in general. But for today, we'll focus on this quote: a goal without a plan is just a wish. So I'd like to kind of stepwise go through a way to plan out making a move in your career advancement, in your career development. The method that I'm going to go through is called PATH. Path planning in 6 steps. And I've put down at the bottom of the slide the reference here. This is actually from person-centered planning. Some of you might be familiar with this. We used this method of planning when I worked with, I was a case manager for individuals with traumatic brain injuries, and we help people plan out positive forward movement in their lives. So this can really be applied to a lot of things, but that's the original citation and book on this. So it's a 6-step process. It's kind of interesting. You sort of start with the end in mind and then go back to now and then work your way forward. And I've got a template here of how to go through each step, and I will send you this too, so that you can jot things down, create your plan. We're going to think through it today. Maybe my slides will work, maybe they won't, but we'll try to walk through it. But I will send you a nice PDF of this template so that you can use it, or you might be able to use it in other professional development you do, or with your kids or whoever you want. So this is the basic outline. So we start up here with the star. Some people call that the North Star. This is the dream. This is, in this context, the ideal career that you're working towards. So that goes up in the star in the top sort of North Star point of your paper. Then we'll move to the circle. What would you think is positive and possible? So realistic within 1 year. It's not as aspirational as the dream, but it's both positive and possible 1 year from today. Then we're going to back up to the beginning of the arrow and think about, okay, what's today? What does our current situation look like? What is your current role? The good, the bad, really just a realistic look of what's going on with career. Number 4 is, who do you want to take with you on this journey to move closer to the goal? Number 5 is, what do you need? Okay. Is there additional mentoring, additional education, other resources? Do you need to adjust some time and priorities in your life? Those type of things. And then moving on to the number 6, bold next steps. It's actually 3 different things. So what can you do by tomorrow? What can you do in 1 week? And then what can you do in 1 month to move you towards that 1 year positive and possible goals? So this is very goal driven, very specific, and very personal. So let's move on and work through it. All right, looks like somebody's already looking ahead on the website. That's great, it's working. So creating the dream is first. This is our North Star. So thinking about the end in mind, what do you want your career to include? What's most important to you as you think about your future career? And even if you want to just name it, if there's something you have in mind that you want that career, that ultimate career to be for you. What aspects are important to you? We've got creativity, autonomy, trust here. fulfillment, sustainability, being able to collaborate with others, having respect. Feeling successful, how you define it, being secure. I'm seeing that security and sustainability is hand in hand. Having that sense of expertise and feeling really fulfilled. Process improvement. I think somebody else had said quality improvement. Wanting to have access to education. Awesome. So these are great aspirational goals. So just really dreaming and thinking about what this looks like for you. So job security, respect, creativity, having that sense of moving forward and being fulfilled. Okay. Let's get a little bit more specific here. What do you think you could achieve in 1 year? So let's say it's April 13th, 2024. What would that look like for you? What could you achieve within 1 year's time if you started working towards your goal? And it looks like we're going to have to use the Zoom chat for this, unfortunately. What could you do in 1 year? Somebody could be fully organized and prepared. Teresa said further education. Complete 5 master's courses, gain more experience. Okay, great. It's getting really specific about how many classes you could take within that time period. Getting residents on a time management task. Okay, further education. Tag me. Okay. So we have somebody with that specific goal in mind. It's great. In a workshop. Great. Starting to pop up here on the side. Weird things are happening. Technology. So it seemed like there were a lot of responses based on further education, some with masters, some with workshop, etc. Certification like Tag Me, and some goals that would help with satisfiers in the workplace, like helping the residents get more time management and helping them might help you have to be less repetitive if that happened. So great. So, all right, moving on to the current situation and thinking about the now. What does career currently look like? And for this, just a couple of words that you would use to describe it. And hopefully this will pop up here anonymously. Looks like it's working. 2 or 3 words that you would use to describe your career now. Okay. I'm picturing like lions and tigers and chaos and taming. Repetitious, lacking some credits. Stressful but satisfying, sort of. Just good alliteration in that. Can be overwhelming. I agree. Limited, maybe feeling that there's some a ceiling there that's hard to break through, or it's confusing how to break through. All panic, no planning. Chaos, coordination. Definitely seeing some themes come out in here, and it's very, at least in my mind, stress producing images, I guess, of chaos and taming wild things and overwhelming and those type of things. So looks like a lot of words for hurry up and wait. Some room for improvement, I think, that we all have in our jobs and defeating. Okay. So from the words that have shown up so far, definitely some room for improvement. Okay. Thankless at times. Okay. So I will say definitely two sides of the coin, because when we talked about good aspects of the job, there were also inspirational comments as well. But sometimes the grind can get to all of us for sure. So let's move on to thinking about what we can do to move the arrow towards our North Star. If you're on this path, who do you think you need with you? Who are you going to ask to come along with you? Who can help you? This might be a specific person. It might be a type of person. There might be new people that you haven't even met yet that you think you need to connect with to assist you towards your goals. So if you think about what was your aspirational goal in the STAR and what was your 1 year positive and possible goal, those things are probably not going to be achieved alone, right? Oh, cute emoji. All right. So GME, your chair, your program director, this group of colleagues, PD's really, really key, former PD. Yeah, me too. My first program director is still a great friend and probably my best mentor. Yeah, coordinators and other specialties can be huge collaborators. Anybody else specific that would be helpful to you? Yeah, people who can cheer you on. Might not even be people at work, right? So it might be friends, it might be family members, multidisciplinary. Might be specific people you need to talk to, say about TAGME, how to go about getting that certification, or with your master's program. Maybe you have an advisor for your program. Very specific people who you need to have in mind that can help you achieve your goals and keep you on track. Any other ones who you want with you to help you move your arrow towards the STAR? Okay, and that's something you can think about individually too, and name names. Okay, educational administrator, either in your department or elsewhere, money. Okay, well, copy and paste that into the next slide, because yes, not only do we need people, sometimes we need other resources as well, other than our human resources. So what do you need to succeed? What's going to help you stay strong? What's going to help you reach those educational or other goals to focus on your path ahead? There's a lot in this. There's a lot of questions here, but thinking about what do you need to do? What do you need to not do? Okay, all that's like different forms of currency from various countries. Oh no, hospital IT system. Yeah, oof. Yeah, one step at a time was the positive reinforcement. That's right. So being encouraging both to yourself, remembering those things, as well as reinforcement from others, department teamwork. And that's part of where that respect comes in, and collaborating with others, I think. Yep, lots of prayer, keeping yourself strong. It might be, thinking about how you start your day, of getting on the right foot. Maybe it's whatever helps you stay energized and motivated throughout the day and keeping a good outlook. For me, something I've learned is trying to get outside a little bit. I don't know how your hospital is, but we can be very insulated in four walls where the world could end and you'd never even really have any idea. Trying to see the sun or the clouds or something before it gets dark every day has been helpful to me. Anything else you need to succeed? I love these. These are great. Something you can think about personally. Okay. Last one here, last step is the bold next steps. Okay, so let's chat these in individually, just in the chat function in Zoom. What's one thing you could do by tomorrow to get you closer to your goal? So something, you could even do it today. You could do it this afternoon. One thing you could do by this time tomorrow that would help get you closer to your goal. Go ahead and chat that in. These are the quick wins, quick things. Website you can check out. Just make a call. Okay, register for class. Go ahead and build the next blocks. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Carol, who said this about going ahead and building the next block schedule, getting big things done like that definitely decreases my anxiety. Cleaning out the inbox. Yes. Get high priority. I don't know that I could get that done by tomorrow though, but that's awesome. Making a self-care plan. Oh, okay. So you've got tomorrow. You went ahead and did them all, Susan. I get it. Okay. So in a week, finish your high priority items, and in a month, have a self-care plan. Awesome. Okay, great. Yeah, by tomorrow you could talk to a friend, talk to a mentor, pick up the phone. Sometimes we get busy and don't do that, or don't send a text, or we think we're going to bother somebody, but they probably love somebody to talk to too, and would enjoy it. Okay, what's something you could do by next week? Let's chat in some of those. You got a week, right? So Carol's going to send the docs off to their academic meetings and have some time to herself. What's something else you could do by Thursday of next week? Bigger chunk of time, you schedule it in. Something for you to get you closer. Trying to declutter the office. A never-ending battle. Yes. Anything else that anybody could get accomplished by next week? Okay, so make an organizational plan, big item off the to-do list. I feel like those big items, that's a whole other kind of talk, I guess, but they always sort of get pushed to the next day and the next day and the next day and the next week because it's too much to tackle in one day. But yeah, when we can get those off our list, it's an awesome feeling. All right, let's move on to next month. Something that you personally could commit to get closer to your goal within 1 month. So by mid-May, Carol's going to revamp and update the residency handbook. Awesome. Michelle's going to do the same. Anything else more? Even website updates? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Tag me study group. That sounds interesting. Yes. Something, and that one is one that could definitely fall off the to-do list, I think. The things that sometimes are helping to move ourselves forward don't get on the to-do list. Like, we're definitely going to do the handbook. We're going to do the schedule because we kind of sort of have to, but the things for ourselves tend to fall by the wayside sometimes because we're not accountable necessarily for making sure they get done. So I hope as part of this exercise, when you go through it and take a moment to yourself, you'll think about those type of things, like the things that aren't the XYZ must-dos, or somebody in GME is going to be calling you, or your program director is going to be calling you. Really more the personal things for you, for your own career and aspirational goals. Great. So, and thinking about, make time for own professional development. You're absolutely worth it. Thank you, Natasha, for that. So even sitting down for 30 minutes to brainstorm, just taking some time to yourself with some colorful pens and a blank piece of paper, and thinking about, new creative things that you would want to do or start or do differently, or maybe call or email somebody that you've never really reached out to before. Ask them for advice. See if you could have 15 minutes of their time, kind of stepping outside of the normal comfort zone. Okay, great. This is just a copy of that again, to remind you of the path, and I'll send you this. And I hope that you do take a moment just to jot this down for yourself, pin it up over your desk, and put the literal dates in there, and see how you can achieve that for yourself. Makes it really tangible. So one of the things I think we've all tried to be pretty aware of is trying to say no more in our lives, right? If we say yes to everything, we always come last, or our family comes last. But thinking about strategically saying yes to certain things to help move forward on a beautiful path here. So just some suggestions for me, some things to say yes to, or opportunities to learn something new, that you've never done before, something challenging that's going to add to your experience, saying yes to some positive changes or meeting new people. Seeking feedback can be kind of scary. It's scary for our residents, right? They don't always want to get feedback, but we tell them, you're never going to grow if you don't get feedback. Nobody's perfect. We say all these things, but then for ourselves, it can be kind of scary. But seeking feedback, from your colleagues, from others, having somebody take a look at something that you've done and give their honest feedback. Somebody you think they'll be really honest with you. Say yes to setting and prioritizing your own goals. And just a final one here, just to helping others, right? So helping pull up others behind you. There's a lot of people on this call that have a ton of experience. So, reaching out to people who haven't had that yet, complimenting them, helping them, giving them the tip. There's a lot of self-benefits to mentoring others as well. Not the least of which is just some really positive vibes from that. So for basic recommendations out of today, if you have a chance, take that blank piece of paper and take a moment to draw out the path of how you arrived to today. What led you to today? Where did you start out? Where are you now? How did you get there? Okay. And this is just for you, right? So not only jobs, but other things that happened in between there. Maybe you got married, maybe you had kids, maybe you moved, maybe you lost a family member, maybe a variety of things happen to us in our lives that affect our career, and just kind of laying all that out for you, and giving yourself grace and respect for what you've achieved at this point in your life, and thinking about that. Then, setting that to the side and taking a little bit of time to complete that 6-part path that I introduced today, and just do that for you. It's only for you, and setting your own goals and investing in yourself, thinking about what opportunities you want to seek out and what to say yes to, being open to new experiences in your life. A really tangible recommendation here, number 4, I know everybody has a resume, but for our faculty and such, they have CVs, right? They're long, they have all this stuff. Make a CV for you, or a detailed resume, and list on it the professional development that you've done, the organizations you belong to, what presentations you've done. I'm sure you all do presentations with orientation, etc. List that on your CV. That's showing everything that's a part of your professional life. It's giving more detail to what you're really doing. List improvements that you've made in your department. Maybe you saved money. Maybe you've made something more efficient. Maybe you have implemented a new technology, a new software or something within your department. And then finally, again, finding mentors and mentoring others is a recommendation that I think is really, really important in all our lives. And finally, I just want to share this little picture that my son made for me. It's actually sitting on my desk right now. I don't know if you can see it. It's my favorite thing. He made this for me when I was working on my PhD and was super stressed out. I'm like, obviously like about to lose it because he drew me this little cat hanging on very tight to a branch, and it's on a sticky note, and I framed it and put it beside my computer. And I think we all need those little things of encouragement from people that mean most in our life. And I just want to also share that with you, just to hang in there, because you're already doing so many amazing things. And I would really love to hear from you. I'd love to see your path. I'd love to know, what your plans are. I have all kinds of great book recommendations and things, depending on what you're interested in, and what you're thinking about doing next. And I'd love to learn from you. So I think we have just a couple minutes if you want to share anything else with each other, or any questions for me. Yes, appreciate that. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so I can actually see you all. Okay, yay. That's better. I can't see anyone when I'm sharing my screen. Thank you for being patient with the technology. Hey, Sarah Brown. Didn't know you were on there. Another Kentucky lady. Any questions, comments, etc.? I will follow up with some things. Natasha, did you have a comment?
I was going to just say thank you very much. Thank you very much for just going through that. Interactive is always fun, and it was a good reminder to remind me and everybody else that we have the power. We have the power to cultivate our own career development. So, and I really like the idea of sharing that about the CB, because that's something that I kind of did for myself, and I'll track everything, every attendance I've attended, projects, lectures, everything. I think now it's probably an annoying 8 pages long or something like that. But it's kind of also nice to kind of reflect back and say, oh my, I forgot that I had done that way back in 2016 or 17 or whatever. So yeah, so thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that you're already doing that. That's a great example. It is helpful just to remember everything done. And thank you, Sarah, for that comment. It's really nice.
Yes, thank you very much, Amy, for taking your time and sharing everything you know with us. We really do appreciate it. We are an unpaid event, so we really do appreciate people who are willing. We don't have any funds. We do everything with free resources, so it's very important that we have people like you who are willing to talk to us and share with us.
Oh,
a lot.
Totally my pleasure. Totally. Sorry for the technology glitches, and thank you for rolling with it. I know everybody's been there. I know you understand. So
it happens.
It's life. I will send you some stuff. I'll send that path. I'll send the networking thing. And if you have questions about that, just email me. You'll have my information. If there's anything else I can send or do or help in any way, just let me know. But thanks for taking time out of your busy days, and take some time for yourself. It's worth it. You're worth it. You're already doing amazing things. So I think it's great to get it down in black and white and have that knowledge. So have a great afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
Everybody
you.
should unmute and give Amy a round of applause if you're still here. Oh, well,
Oh.
she's still here.
Thank you, Amy. We really
Thank you.
appreciate